Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee, and welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. YCS Indianapolis took place this past weekend with some 1,907 players in attendance according to the Konami official blog, and with our first premiere event following the release of Age of Overlord comes the Fire Brigade. Because much like it was in the OCG, Rescue Ace with the new Sinful Spoils engine has proven itself to be a force in the TCG as well. Yes, getting right into it, simply put, there's a new face in the meta, and it's not a face, it's a fire hydrant. Sinful Race, a term that in no way could possibly be taken out of context, showed itself to be the top deck of the event, taking 35% of top 32, or 11 out of the top 32 spots by using numbers that people can meaningfully understand. This chart here is actually the official Konami one put on their blog, and confuses me, because they also released this chart, which does use real numbers, because that's just the better way to go about it. This isn't important, I just want to know why they randomly used percents. Actually, I don't need to wonder why, I know why. It's so that they can give us the percentage numbers, so that when we bring up tier 0 statuses and the whole 65% thing, we got the numbers right there. That's a big thing move by Konami, I'm sure. Still, Sinful Race was clearly the dominant deck. The second most represented deck, being Pearly, only had 13%. Tearlament did take 3 spots, which was one more than Unchained, the previous new threat in town, and Vanadium was the only other deck to get more than 1 spot in the top 32. The likes of Pearly and Unchained are nothing shocking or new or all of that interesting in the grand scheme of things, although it is worth noting that in regards to the Tearlament decks, none of the Tearlament decks in top 32 were playing a Horus engine. At least not from what I could find. I don't think that's particularly shocking, but that was the best new toy that Tearlament could most easily use from Agov, not counting SP Little Knight because, well, everyone can use that. Except for Branded, but we try not to talk about Branded, don't we? Instead, Horus only showed up in a Dragon Link sort of deck, running a heavy Bestial package and a tiny little Resonator package as well, to make use of that new Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. Interesting stuff. Finals would ultimately whittle down to a Rescue Ace Mirror, both playing the Sinful Sins engine, and the winner would ultimately be Steven Santoli. A huge congratulations to him, this being his second YCS win. The first was in the YCS North American remote duel thing that went on in June of this year, if I'm not mistaken. So now that he has an in-person YCS win, haters can no longer say it's only a remote duel win, as the Canadian kid earns himself the win. He didn't even have to FTK a child on stream to get that. I thought that was just what Canadians did to stay warm, but maybe that's not the case. And damn it, we can't cover YCS Indianapolis without talking about the real winner of the event. That's right, because while Steven played damn well and earned himself a crown that is nothing short of a true major accomplishment, there's another player that played damn well but instead won our hearts. And what better deck to cover on this week's Spice Watch than Jeffrey Leonard's own Exodia FTK? Because it doesn't really get much spicier than throwing a Fire Warrior package to turbo search out the Forbidden One. Yeah, I'm talking a combo pile with an extra deck comprised of Flame Swordsman, Dark Flare Knight, Elemental Hero Flare Neos, 2 Isolde, and 3 Selene. Just insanity. Not to mention the Ignite engine and Pendulum Magician engine for one of the wildest decks to be featured in a duel. Most importantly, however, it plays a copy of Blue Dragon Summoner, a level 4 spellcaster that can add any normal spellcaster monster from deck to hand if it itself is sent from the field to the grave. And notably, that's not once per turn, hence the FTK. It's a long combo, but in short, you'll end up making an Isolde, typically using a Fire Warrior engine, that'll help you get some Ignite plays going, to let you get to Beyond the Pendulum, and get some Pendulum plays going. You'll end up using a copy of Harmonizing Magician and another Pendulum from the deck to summon out a copy of Time Star Magician, I hate these names. Star Time will let you search out the head of Exodia by itself, and because Ignites destroy themselves to search, you can use their effect, then use Star Time's effect to negate the destruction and send a Blue Dragon Summoner from your deck to the grave. From there, you loop 3 Selenes and a Cross Sheep to keep bringing back Blue Dragon Summoner, and then link it away for more Selenes to keep searching the pieces from deck one to hand at a time. If you'd like a more thorough run-through, there is a deck profile by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jeffrey Leonard, on Simo's channel that I highly recommend you check out. This is the pinnacle of Yu-Gi-Oh, by the way. A combo Exodia deck that solitaires the opponent entirely, played by a man infamous for playing one of the most hated cards in the game, whom we all adore. This is so degenerate in the best way, and I love it. It continues the trend of Ignites being awful for the game every time they show up in a meta-relevant sense. It helps solidify a second attribute as Warrior slowly but surely makes Dark Warrior and Fire Warrior and every other attribute warrior to be horrible time thieves with. And best of all, it won its feature match on stream. Yeah, you can check out the full duel on the Konami YouTube account, if I'm not mistaken, because it's round 4 feature match. Kudos to Jeff for taking the event by storm. Kudos to the crowd for giving the duel the hype it deserves. And kudos to his opponent for being a fantastic sport about getting fucking Exodia FTK'd live on stream. And since this is a combo that's legal in both TCG and in Master Duel, you can get ready for at least one of your upcoming duels at locals or in Master Duel to be a real rough time, because if it isn't exactly Jeffrey Leonard playing this, it's a fucking sin. And that's why I love it. There's been some interesting news in regards to Yu-Gi-Oh! By and large that came with the reveal of a single anime girl card, just for a change of pace. But the new Prisoner Princess of Fruitful Flames card, a generic Fire Link 3 that I covered previously in one of this week's new card reports, wasn't special for its effects or its art or anything really in general, except for the fact that this is the first card to feature as a simultaneous release, as this card will be appearing in Master Duel on the same day that it is released into the OCG, that being October 30th. So far as I know, this is the only card getting this treatment, as no other cards from Phantom Nightmare will be in Master Duel as of yet, but it's an interesting change to the pattern that they've set for Master Duel thus far. I myself have complained about Master Duel being the same format just like 6-ish months later. We just lost Arise Heart in the TCG, and now if I want to play Master Duel, I'm dealing with Arise Heart, and it feels like my life is purgatory. But if they can merge the cards in regard to paper and digital into simultaneous releases, that could make for a much more convenient time for players all around. Not only are there already, not having to deal with solved formats if they can do that, but also, for lack of a better term, it would make Master Duel an actual alternative to the card game, because it's not that it isn't an actual one, I just mean to say it's this weird third format that also exists, and it's like neat. It's not hard for players to understand currently, but if you're new and coming into the game, it might be like, well, why isn't it the same? And there isn't an answer for that. Konami's just decided that it's a third option up until now. So it's interesting. There's talk about hope for them to merge all 3 core lists between the TCG, the OCG, and Master Duel, and that would take a monumental amount of effort from Konami, since we are still behind the OCG, by about 6-ish months. We're just getting Age of Overlord, and they're just getting Phantom Nightmare. There's a delay. There's a delay happening, but regardless, it's not likely that that'll happen anytime soon, but it's not impossible either, as long as they don't put Max C in the game so that I can continue to play my game without bugs, because I hate Max C, and that's just a thing. So that's it. That's the news. It's not yet to be seen as to whether or not this will be a continued and more consistent thing, or if we'll just get like sporadic anime girl cards getting simultaneous releases going forward. Who knows? It's Konami doing this. Nobody has any clue what's going on whatsoever. In some new product news, OTS Pack 23 dropped this week. With it, we've learned the third Ultimate Rare, because leaks don't exist on this channel, that accompanies the Ultimate Rare reprints of Enemy Controller and Kurikara Divincarnate. The third one's Big Welcome Labyrinth. That's great news for those looking to really bling out their Labyrinth decks, and awful news for my friend Mark, who wanted to pick up Big Welcome Labyrinth and was hoping for a cheaper reprint and now just has to deal with this. Wah wah. Sucks to suck, eh, Mark? But it's okay, because while most of us are looking forward to OTS Pack 23, Australia is celebrating finally getting their hands on OTS Pack 22. That's right, according to my sources down under, Australians have gotten sick and tired of waiting for the world's shittiest postal service to do their one and only job, and have taken to just robbing armored trucks in order to get those damn packs of OTS Pack 2022. This is both true and real, and I'm not being facetious or sarcastic in any way. And being a great day for Australia, that of course means that it's a great day for the world. And in some last minute news from Konami, the contents of the 25th anniversary Rarity collection have been confirmed through sponsored content creators' early openings. And to no one's shock, it's the exact same set as it was in the OCG, just without the bug. And hilariously, since retro formats exist, people probably wouldn't have really complained about the bug getting a reprint, because how is Maxi that expensive still? Even banned, it's that game warping, at least on our wallets. Still, this set seems like it's going to be as good as we expected. Reprints of the best Draw 2 pot cards in the game, all 3 of them that I care for, Triple Tactics Talents, Ash Blossoms, End Perms, and plenty of more cards that are genuinely seeing play and you will want cheap copies of, regardless of whether or not you're building a second deck or you're getting new and introduced to the game. There are cards in this set that I do hate, however. Out of the more than 10,000 cards in the game, you're telling me Tri-Brigade Revolt is in the top 79 that needed a reprint? Or Galaxy Eyes Big Fuck Dragon? Like, Blue Eyes Hips Dragon I can get, because Blue Eyes players do get horny sometimes. But why are there so many one-of cards when this should be a set of, like, staples and good shit only? This is the successor to Duel Devastator that we all wanted. Why plague it with fucking Iris Sword Soul? Still, provided the pull rates aren't ass, this is a very welcome breath of affordability into the game right now, something very much needed and wanted by the player base following the discourse over exactly how expensive the cards from Age of Overlord are. That, however, is a topic for another video coming sometime in the next week from yours truly. Instead, this is a nice adjustment in printing strategies, and one that I hope that Konami will continue with moving forward. I'll take the world's fanciest magician rod print ever that I don't give a shit for, if that means that we can keep getting sets like this in the future without having to wait till like the 30th anniversary to get it. Besides, we all know what the card game needs to do for its 30th anniversary, and to the shock of Wizards of the Coast, it turns out it's not to charge players $1,000 for 60 unplayable cards. Who could have seen that coming? And that's it. The key to a 30th anniversary is just not doing what Wizards of the Coast did. So just fucking do that, Konami, and you're covered. God willing, this set sells like pointless cosmetics do in every fucking video game I play nowadays, because I'm a boomer. And Konami does similar sets like this with some frequency in the future. And in the meantime, we can get hyped for next Friday when the Rarity collection drops, and somehow Triple Tactics Talents becomes even more widespread than it already is right now. In some more niche merch news, the OCG also announced some posters for full art versions of popular monsters, from iconic older cards such as Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, to newer cards such as Red Eyes Dark Dragoon or Zeus. These high-definition posters each come with a massive frame and are accompanied by a special ultra-rare purple version of their associated card. The size of the artwork will be dependent on the artwork in question, according to the press release, and the accompanying card reportedly cannot be removed. That's just how it's being described. Cannot be removed, which to me sounds more like a challenge than anything, but what do I know? I'm just an ignorant North American. If any of these interest you, I wish you best of luck. And that's not me saying it in the sense of like good luck with the limited release. I mean good luck with the literal fucking lottery that you will be taking part in to even get the chance to buy it. Because to try and prevent this from just being scalped, you have to enter a lottery, and if you win, then you can go ahead and purchase it for the low, low price of 88,000 yen, or about 600 US dollars. $587 to be exact on the day I converted it when writing this script. So if you want to die on a hill about me omitting $13 to prove how smart you are, by all means, the comments are open. I've already moved on to the next subject though, because there's another piece of merch that'll affect more of us in a much more meaningful way. And that is, of course, the brand new Blue Eyes Toon Dragon Funko Pop. That is right. Forget the massive framed poster of Trishula. You can have fucking Funko Pop number 8,004,004,000,004 It's pogging. This is Blue Eyes Poggers Dread. This is as close to pogging as a Blue Eyes will ever get, and you can't convince me otherwise. And it's only $30 US. Again, it's a Hot Topic exclusive because, I don't know, it's 2012 in our hearts, I guess. You tell me. But that's your merch news for the day. You can either take the Funko Pop or, again, the advertised massive frames on the artwork. But if you do get Trishula, feel free to send it my way, because I wouldn't complain about having that Trishula poster. I just sure as shit am not winning a lottery and then spending $600 fucking on it. So, wah wah. And we do have a bit of community news this week because something came up that truly does not matter in the slightest, and as we all know, those are the things that matter the most. Because I released a video this week going by single card history, wherein I covered this card that appeared on screen. And it may shock you to know this, regardless of whether or not you watch my single card history videos, I pronounce the name of cards when talking about the cards. Brave, I know, but I've always pronounced this card Machina Fortress. Because it's a machine, huh? Oh, funny. Or more accurately, because that's just how my friend pronounced it, but either way, I've always just said machina with little care or regard for what that does to people. But apparently that is tremendous psychic damage to some, because others have insisted that it is machina, a la Deus Ex Machina, which is spelled the same way. Or maybe, who knows, maybe you're here after just watching a Farfa stream or a Farfa video, and you think that it's pronounced machina. Anything's possible. What I do know more than anything is that however you choose to pronounce it, you're probably willing to die on that hill and insist that everyone else must know that they are wrong for having the alternative pronunciation. And that's pretty based. I can support that. That's the shit that matters, is the shit that doesn't matter. So I ask, how the fuck do you say this card's name? I got 3 of it in the display today because it's like, but there it is. I mean, I don't know if I could be any sort of authority. I called myself Greg in a joke in a new card report this week, and someone commented saying they thought I was just really butchering saying Craig all these videos, which, so far as I know, I've just been saying Craig, but am I not enunciating enough? Like, do I need to just speak from the chest at all times, Craig Fee? Or do I need to, like, really punch the C in that? Craig Fee. Welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. I don't know, but if I can't say my own fucking name, I don't know if I get to be an authority on how we pronounce Machina. So there you go. We can work together, we can figure out what the hell this is called, and then maybe, just maybe, after that's done, we can figure out how to pronounce this one. Because I guarantee you we are not pronouncing that one correctly. That is a certainty of this universe. And so that'll wrap it up for this week's update. Shoutouts, as always, to the LIFD Magnetic Display for the support on my channel, allowing me to put those Machino Babinos in the display, because that's what's there today, because I'm not using the gadget deck, my buddy is, so they're just chilling, looking pretty, just waiting for the right deck. And if you've got some cards that you really are fond of and you want to just put on display, let me say, pick yourself up an LIFD display today. And I just keep rhyming. This is a code. It's YCS15. It gets you 15% off. If you want to help me out, help yourself out to one of these, and I would appreciate it. Thanks to LIFD for the support as always, and of course, thank you for watching. So that wraps it up. There's nothing left to talk about on this update. No other news came out after my filming this, and this is not me tempting the universe. That's just the truth of the world in which we live. So if you want to hit subscribe and stay tuned for all those new card reports, single card histories, updates, and anything else I choose to film, feel free. I'd appreciate it. And as a reward for subscribing, not only will you be impressed in your smoking Italian wife, but you'll be a true duelist. And that's all that matters, is you just run at people in the street and accost them and just, I'm a true duelist. And you're allowed to do that with impunity if you subscribe to my channel. You're not allowed to do that, actually, but subscribe anyways. That's it. Fucking see you next week, folks.